people, we are back at A2TP podcast, episode 194, and we are back. It's your boy International Walt.
It's your girl Tasha with the mostest.
And we are back in the building for another episode of us, Instagrammers, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pod Index, Pod Chaser, Google Podcast Player, FM. Let's get right to the show. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I would say mentally I'm probably a 9. Just because you know, we're stressing and seemed a little off, and that, you know, our energy feeds off of each other. So yeah, that you know, so that's probably why I'm a 9. Financially, I'm gonna say an 8. Just, you know, I know I was saying a 10, just to kind of think, but, you know, room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Work is a 9. Work is good, but I'm tired. You know, the year end is coming. Busy, but it's all good. I'm just tired. And then physically I feel good. Physically I'm a 10. Like, I feel good. I've been doing my 3 miles. I tell you one thing, Friday I couldn't because I had to be somewhere too early to like go in the morning. So I told myself I would make up for it Saturday or Sunday. It didn't happen because, one, in order for me to go to the track, I got to get up like super early because they start the football stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get up super early. Like, when I say early, like I heard these old men talking, and he was saying they do like 3 games on like Little League football.
They're playing, the games start 8:30.
Well, no, he said it starts at 10. He said they're usually out there from 10 to 3. So I was as I'm hearing, I'm like, okay, that means I probably, you know, got to get to the track. I would say like 8, which means I got to get up like 7:30. But I don't want to do that on a Saturday.
The games start at 10, but the kids get there, throw the football around, they're laying on the field, they're stretching, the pads is out, like they're about to play a game.
But the track is probably still available.
Yeah, but I mean, they're probably walking back and forth.
Yeah, it's just too early for a Saturday. And then I know the park, I don't want to go to the park by myself. If you're not going, I know you don't want to work out on the weekend. So, and Sunday, I don't know if they play games on Sunday. Long story short, I didn't walk for 3 days because I missed my Friday. I didn't make up for it. And on Monday, I felt it. Like, I felt it. And again, I don't do it based on the time. Like, it's like I'm not competing. Like, I want to walk at a good pace. But I just want to do my 3 miles. But I know like the time that I've been in between, and I was like 2 minutes longer than I had been before because I just felt like my pace. Like, what is track protocol in terms of people, like strangers walking? And the reason why I ask, right? I'm walking and I'm in my lane, and I hear somebody like coming up, and it's this lady. And our pace is like the same, like for a while, probably like a whole lap. And then I told myself, like, because in my mind, I'm like literally we were together, and she didn't leave a lane space. She's right next to me, and I'm all the way in the outside lane. And I'm thinking, like, what's the protocol for this? Like, move over. Why? Anybody who would have seen us probably thought like we were friends together. But it's like, why are we shoulder to shoulder?
An older lady?
No, she looked like we was probably the same age. Well, why are we shoulder to
lady.
Your mother? Why are we shoulder to? And I'm like, what is the protocol? Like, you got room to move over, take a couple steps extra, or slow down or something. But why? Maybe she was challenging herself to keep up with my pace, which is fine. But move over. Why are you like you know, the lanes? It's enough for one. So we are literally like, we could hear each other breathing. What's the protocol?
I don't know what the protocol is, but I don't want to be close to people like that. Maybe she did it to feel safe. I don't know. Like, being out there by herself, you was by yourself. So maybe she just figured, if I walk next to this person, I don't know. It's
easily 10, 15 cars every morning when I go. And you see like people like, you kind of know like the 6:30, 7 o'clock crowd, and you know like the 8:30 crowd, like cars are coming and going. I even counted one day. So I would say it's on average between 10 to 15 cars. And it's no buildings. And so, I mean, like the safety factor, I don't know. Who knows what was on her mind, but she was way too close to me. Nevertheless, I feel good. I've been doing my walking today. had to do it in the gym, but it felt good. I sweat up that. I love being outside, but I feel like the treadmill makes you keep the pace. So it felt
obviously it's on a number, so the belt's just at that number.
Yeah, like you don't
time.
have to. I mean, you can turn the number down, but if you don't, you gotta keep that pace. So I felt the sweat like way more than like being outside. I mean, and technically outside you got the breeze and all that stuff too. But I love being in the outdoor elements, walking. But it felt good in the gym today.
Cool.
How are you?
I'm good mentally. I would say I'm an 8. Finances, I would say, is an 8.
Ho. You don't want to elaborate a little bit on the 8? Or not right now?
Yeah, just the stress about finances. I just gotta be better at it. Yeah, I just feel like I'm on a hamster wheel sometimes, and as a man, it gets real frustrating and stressful. Being as though I handle our finances and, I take that shit really seriously, it's not something that I can just shake off or ignore when I'm trying to see 3 and 4 steps ahead. So, in an effort to keep us where we need to be, I just need to make changes, and yeah, that's all. So I was bummed out, obviously, because I don't like to stress about shit like that, but I'll fix it. So yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. You said finances was an 8.
8, always leaving room for growth. Work is a 10. Work is great. No issues at work.
You still on the 3 jobs you have going on?
Yeah. And then I spoke to some people today about my work career moving forward. So whether it's, more of the same or something different. Physically, I feel like a 10. Yeah, I feel good. My body feel good.
Why I gotta find out about that on the podcast?
Find out about what?
Yeah, these conversations you had. You don't be thinking like, let me call my wife and tell her. Or when I come home, let me tell her.
Yeah, I had other shit on my mind. Yeah, I had other shit on my mind.
Okay.
But physically, I feel like a 10. Wows and woes, ups, downs, stops, goes, goods, bads, likes, dislikes.
My wow,
fat, skinny.
My Black Girls Love season is beginning. As some of you may or may not know, I am a mentor with Black Girls Love. It's a organization just created to empower, inspire, motivate, encourage, educate, on different levels. Young girls ages, when I say that, it's not like we're teachers, so educate, I use that term loosely, or it may not come from us, it may be through experience.
No, I was laughing at the things you list after you said mentor, and I would think like mentor would encompass all that, but that's cool. I know you wordy.
Career, our season coincides with the school year, kind of October through June, and I'm just excited about that. Like, I it's something that I enjoy, and I feel like I've had conversations with God in the past. Like, people see the meme, like people post the memes and say like, God, did you just create me to go to work and pay bills? Like, I don't want that to be, life. Like, I love my life with my husband. I love my job, but I don't want to just go to work and come home, like, and that be all it is to life. So I'm happy that I have something else, like, that I feel aligns with God's purpose for me. So I have questioned that in the past, not really knowing what it was, and I feel like this is on that
So you
path.
Did he speak to you and tell you your purpose, or you just like picked it?
I don't think he specifically spoke to me. I think things aligned in the way of him directing me to that, on the path that he has. I think my job aligns with that as well. So yeah. So that's my wow. Excited about that. My woe is the season changing. And
that's not a woe. That's your woe.
For me, I love the summer, and it like went from, it's only been a couple days, but it's like a little gray. Like fall is like, okay, it's fall, but I want to still have like some warm days. I've been chilly the last few days. Like,
ready for the heat. The air been on.
I had the little space heater on today.
Electric bills up. Like, yeah, the air need to go off. That shit been on for like 100 and something days straight.
Yeah.
So yeah, fall is, you know, the trees changing the colors, that crisp air, the smell of fireplaces. That's just a different feel.
Yeah, but I wanted
football,
like you said, turning the air off and being able to open the windows. But it get cold opening the windows.
I mean, it's like a window that you get a couple of weeks of no air, no heat.
Yeah,
maybe a window.
Right.
But then after that, you do need the heat in those mornings. I drove in the last few weeks, probably 3-4 days with the heat on.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it feels different. Like, oh shit, the heat's on.
And it's not even October. It's like summer was just over. Like the drastic changes to our seasons is just becoming more and more prevalent. You know, they say it's a result of global warming, which I believe in. And
being a blue collar worker, like, you got to keep a jacket in your car, a hoodie or something, because you just never know when you might have to step outside or you work outside or whatever. But you got to keep a jacket because mornings be chilly as shit.
Yeah, and then you have some like longer sleeve shirts, but I know for me, I prefer to wear layers. Like, so I would prefer to wear a short sleeve shirt and bring a jacket or a cardi rather than having long sleeves, because you just don't know how to do. Because it could be really chilly in the morning and then warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Your wows and woes?
I don't have no. Well, the woes is just what we was talking about earlier. It's just I don't like to stress. I don't like to stress. It's bad for you. It's bad for your innards. It's bad for your outards. Stress is just bad. So that's my wow is just, I'm here for another week. Even through stress and even through, you know, not like I had bad days or something is terribly wrong. I'm okay, but just got to make some changes so that we can advance in the thoughts and things that we project for our future.
Okay.
So yeah.
What's up with
Brett Favre? Did you hear about Brett Favre?
I did not.
Brett Favre got Parkinson's.
Oh no!
Man was diagnosed with Parkinson's right after that money scandal thing in Mississippi.
That's so sad.
But yeah, and I mean, I've seen his whole football career. He took a whole lot of hard hits, and you know, a lot of people talk about CTE after football is over.
Is Parkinson's related to CTE? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it's a part of it. So, yeah, not condolences, but shouts out to Brett Favre. I mean, he was a great football player. I don't want to see nobody end up with Parkinson's. It's bad. It's like a portion of dementia, and you know, I had a loved one. My nana had passed away from dementia, so it's near and dear to my heart. Those kind of diseases that take your loved one away before they're, they're gone.
But does it affect you? I mean, I know it affects your motor skills, but does it affect your memory? Because I'm thinking of like Michael J. Fox and then the guy who's
outliers.
The boxing coach. I didn't know it affected
those are outliers,
memory, like
though,
dementia.
Because of what it does is bring on dementia.
Oh.
And those guys you're talking about, Michael J. Fox and him, I mean, they got millions of dollars, so of course they get the best medication and the best treatment. They can fly to Germany and do some trials and stuff like that. That's like Magic Johnson with AIDS. Like,
but I'm just saying, I knew that Parkinson's affected your motor skills. I didn't. You taught me something. I didn't know that it affected.
I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm pretty sure that having Parkinson's can bring on dementia.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just sad. Like, no.
I mean, I think Michael J. Fox kind of like, he was the first person in the spotlight that I can remember. And then what's the boxing coach name?
Freddie Roach.
I think the medicinal marijuana industry has been proven to assist, people to manage, but at some point, it's still a progressive disease. It's not like it reverses, but can help to manage. And you think all of these years, hopefully there's more medical advancements that can assist, not just for the wealthy that can travel, but like to the everyday common person that may have Parkinson's.
Yeah, everybody deserves a quality of life if you're diagnosed with something like that, and you have like you know, not like you have a certain amount of years, but you kind of do have a certain amount of years.
Yeah.
Before you're not yourself anymore.
Right.
More Diddy. What happened? It's another week. More Diddy.
I haven't been like seeing. I mean, I know you talked about the lube, and then it was like 700 something dildo. Did we talk?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Caught with 786 dildos or some shit like that. He ain't out of jail yet. There's no bail been granted. A lot more lawsuits have come out. A lot more women have come out and saying that, you know, he raped me, he did this,
really?
he did that. Yeah. To tie in, Justin Bieber has popped out of, you know, his hiding space. I didn't know he ran away from the music industry and went to God, which is cool. You know, God's cool. But now he's popping up doing interviews implying how he was passed around the industry and ties with this shit.
So we talked last week about AI, right? And this is an example. I'm not saying, you know, whatever experiences he may have talked about didn't happen, but there is a song that's circulating on TikTok that's said to be a Justin Bieber song, and it talks about like it says something like I lost myself at a Diddy party or something. It sounds beautiful in the sense of like his tone of voice, but it's sad.
So it sounds like a real song. Yeah.
It's a fake song. And people were posting like, oh my God, Diddy been telling us this all. So me, I go to Apple. You know, if you know a line of a song, you can Google it. Nothing is coming up. So as I started looking, people were saying like, this is AI. This is not a real song. I'm like, we talked about like that can get scary and tricky like that. They have to find, I mean, I don't know how you do that. I mean, I guess similar to like auto-tune, people been changing their voices for years, and now they can change it to not sound like auto-tune, to sound like a person. But it's creepy. It's creepy, and it's very dangerous.
And people, I mean, when he was out and big and popular, he was 14, 15, 16 years old. Like, that's really, really a fucking child. Like, so to be in those type of environments, like, just think about some of the kid actors, like the Corey Feldmans and shit like that, who was trying to get help and say, hey, the industry ain't right, there's a lot going on, I'm getting lost here, and nobody fucking listened to him. And it's happened over and over again where these kids not necessarily get passed around off the puff shit, but they just have a rough time of industry.
It's funny you say that too, because I seen there's a lady, I never knew her name, but you would recognize her from like Nickelodeon. Caucasian lady, heavy set. And she, somebody had posted, she was saying she was 19 years sober. And I didn't know who she was. So it looked like just a not like a mugshot or just a,
headshot.
Yeah. But it wasn't nice. Like it looked like she had, it wasn't, I'm sorry, when I say it wasn't nice, it wasn't like dialed up. It was like just bare face, no makeup, gray hair. It wasn't made to look glamorous. So I went to her page. I'm like, oh, this is the, but she talks about Nickelodeon and how people tried to cover up, and like she was going in about like some of the people from there, and you know, why y'all not saying their names? These were the people who ruined lives. And it's like you said, the child actors. Look at like a Tevin Campbell in the music industry.
Mario, it happened to him when he kind of left and came back grown. But when he was young, when he first came out, it's the same thing. He kind of got wrapped up in the whirlwind of that shit. Then he stepped away for a couple of years.
I read some stuff about, I seen an interview from a bodyguard who was Bobby Valentino's bodyguard. And he talked about how he was at a Diddy party because he was Bobby Valentino's bodyguard. And he was saying to like Bobby, like, saw these chicks here and blah, 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 blah. And Bobby said something to the effect of, you know, after you done had so much cootie cat, you know, it don't even impress you no more. You need something different. And he had like these 2 chicks on his arm. So the bodyguard was like, you know, it was just like, damn, it get like that. So he said this made him go celibate. I think he said for a year or maybe 2 years, because he was like, I don't want to get to that point. But he was saying Bobby had asked him like to take one of the girls to the bathroom. and he like walked into the bathroom, and he like heard this commotion, and he go in there, she at the urinal. So she was a trans person. Yeah, so that was part of, and he was saying that it was a guy that was going around telling people to sign the NDA, and he was like, "Nah, I'm going out to the car." And he was like, "No," he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna wait in the car." He was like, "I ain't signing it. Like, I'm not signing it."
And then there's all these clips of Puffy, like, you know how the internet's gonna go and pick the worst clips, but him describing how to have these freak offs on Conan, or him saying that the way that I freak off, they're gonna eventually lock me up. Like, these clips are coming out, and he sounds crazy just with some of the clips that they are putting out, where he's like implicating himself in a lot of shit. But back to the kids though, like, if you had a child with real talent and could be in the industry, would you let them in the entertainment industry, or would you just be like, no, you know, that's not for us because of what's involved in it, the bad contracts, the drugs, the alcohol, the parties, all that shit?
I wouldn't stop them. I just would be present. I wouldn't turn my child over to someone else to allow them, you know, to like a usher. You know, his mom released him and he lived, you know, and it makes me think about.
But there was talk about Usher. There was rumors
well,
about
it makes
Usher
me
when
think
he
of,
was younger.
It makes me think about.
And again, it's that tender age, not so tender, but that tender age.
It makes me think about his hypersexualization. I also, and this is my own, I'm not putting this on nobody's name. I'm not saying I know this for sure. I think that was something, Neo as well, because he's like, now he's living, he done left his second wife, I think.
They got 2 girlfriends.
But while he was with his second wife, he had 2 babies by the side girl. And now he is not with the wife or the side girl. He's with these other 2 girls. But again, that hypersexualization, it's almost, to me, I feel like men who are trying so hard to prove to themselves, not even to the world, because you think about it, Usher stays to himself, Neo stays, I mean, you see him when you see him, but stays to themselves, but it's like trying to prove to themselves that they're not gay. So they're like overly sexual with women.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's overly sexual with women.
You don't think that's an R&B thing?
I don't think so.
I think Tank is over sexual with women.
But he's married.
Right, but I'm saying you act like married guys can't be gay. But also, all I'm saying is he plays that card too, the over sexualization. I think many are. I see your point in those two, but I also see that in many R&B singers, how they play the over sexualization towards women.
I think
it's the aggressive part that is a problem.
I think for some men, it's just part of their, like, I think like Tank and a Genuine.
I think that's the part R&B of
their yes, I would say they're old school. But again, they weren't, to my knowledge, known to be womanizers in that sense.
Exactly. Okay.
Like
now
I see Genuine was with Soleil. They got all them kids for how many years? You know, Tank is with his wife. Right. So it's a like you're being like sexual, but not like, you know, dropping it off, like not known for that. I wanted to the other day I was listening to the Jasmine Sullivan station on Pandora, no, on Apple, whatever. You know, it plays not just her songs, but songs that she was on. So remember last year, Diddy did the Love album where he had all these songs with other artists. And it was so, like, cringy a little bit, because at the very end of the song, he goes into this monologue where he says, I'm sorry. Okay, and I will be one of the off the grid, which it was mind blowing, because my intention was just to make the woman that I was with feel so incredible, like, you know, incredible amusement park ride of love. And so let's get deep. Let's watch the sunrise. Let's watch the sunset. Let's make it rise again, and let's go hard as we could go and enjoy this time together. But just hearing him say, my intention was to make the woman that I was with feel so incredible. And I'm thinking, not the way you whoop Cassie ass.
Yeah. I
Like-
mean, I don't know who he was talking about in that. But
No.
again, it's all a facade. Like, we all know now that that's all a facade. So
But that's like
those
sociopathic.
words, yeah, it's sociopathic and it's narcissistic. Like, but those words are
I mean, I know
meaningless.
it's just a song, but again,
he probably didn't even write that. Who's to know that he wrote that? I mean, he's known for not writing the songs that he sings. And
no, and it wasn't. He wasn't sing. Jasmine Sullivan sang the song, and at the very end, he's just talking.
Right.
And it was like, wow, like a year ago, this album came out, and look at where you are a year later. Like that didn't age well.
And now that there's another talking point of the angle that he's going at for defense is drugs, like how he was caught with some pink powder and all the fucking drugs that he's been taking over the last 15 years. He's basically been an addict, and that's going to play on the court too. This is going to be like crazy to see a trial with fucking Sean Combs like on TV every day. People glued to that shit like it's OJ.
I think he's gonna feel like he's gonna beat this because of, remember before he had the trial where he beat the murder charge.
Yeah, but he knew Sean was in the pocket. He had paid Sean to take a charge for him, so he knew that. And something happened to a witness in that case too. I didn't read into that, but back then, even in the 90s, something happened to a witness back then that where the girl couldn't testify. I don't know if she was paid off or recanted her statement or what. But even back then, he had the power to pay a witness off, and he paid Sean to go take a charge for him. So that's, if I know that, then I'll go through and I know, okay, I'm not going to get caught. I'm not going to get convicted because somebody else is saying, hey, I did it.
I think the sketchy part is going to be, which people are going to, like being able to determine, and I'm sure the government, I won't say I'm sure, I would think they have some sort of communication or correspondence to prove who was willfully and who was unwillfully participants. Because everybody that showed up at these parties, it wasn't a crime.
No.
So that's where the difference maker is going to be in their evidence and being able to prove those who were unwillful participants.
And the first people that they're going to talk to is all the people that signed the NDAs. Because it's like if you're signing an NDA, if somebody walks up to you in a party that's lit and says, hey, sign this NDA, you kind of think like, okay, what this paperwork is for is so I don't talk about what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Now, I might not be seeing anything but people having fun right now. But 10 minutes later, an hour later, you never know what you might see. And now you done signed this paperwork. So I think when somebody starts walking around a party saying, hey, sign this NDA, it's kind of a red flag to be like, not like, if you want to leave, but I think you should, it kind of clicks as a human in your head, hey, this person's asking me to sign something that says don't talk about the things I'm about to see. It's kind of strange.
I mean,
it's
you
a
think
red
about
for
Beyonce
me, it's a red flag.
Saying that, to Bush, you said you're going to have to sign an NDA after the stuff about Tiffany Haddish come out. So, I mean, I think it could be a red flag depending on what the setting is. Because an NDA could also be, if somebody's revealing, let's say Beyonce had a gathering a year ago to talk about her whiskey line coming out, but she didn't want it to be revealed. You know what I mean? So it depends on
But that's what I mean. It's
scenario.
like you can't be around me because of the things you're going to hear and see. That's all my point is. That's what the NDA is about.
Right. No, I understand that, but I'm saying just because somebody asks you to sign an NDA, I don't think it's an immediate red flag unless you're somewhere. Because you could be in a business meeting and they ask you to sign an NDA.
Well, let's just talk about where we are. We're at a Diddy party.
Yes, but
we're
that
not at the office. We're not at corporate. We're at a Diddy party.
Again,
we're having fun. We've been there. It's a couple hours in, and this guy comes around, and we're like, "Hey, what everybody doing?" And he comes up, "Hey, can you sign this NDA?"
But it could be you might be about to see.
And let's say you glance at it and say, "Okay, what am I signing?" And it's.
But I'm saying you might be about to see, a willing.
Stripper.
No, I'm saying a willing stripper give somebody who's a star a blowjob, and it's like, okay, these are willing participants, and we just don't want you going back telling nobody business. So that's what I mean. Like, I get that. Yes, it can be unscrupulous activities, which obviously it was. I'm not denying that at all, but I just think the what's going to be the nail in his coffin is the communication that will prove, like, you ordering girls from Ukraine or something.
Yeah, and
that's
going
to be the negative, the bad part.
Let's put let's put it what it is. Having sex parties is not illegal. Right. People have sex parties. It's the violence, I think, is what's going to put the nail in his coffin. That's my opinion. I think once they tie the violence in, then they're going to be like, okay, because you already got guns, you already got drugs, you already got money and shit you've been caught with. But once they tie in, okay, you having these parties and the trafficking, that's what you charge with. Because you're not charged with having freak parties. You're charged with trafficking. And once you cross state lines and country lines and shit like that, like she said, that becomes a problem.
Yeah, the people, the girls who were brought, or boys against their will. So that's, or like, you know, somebody come and it's like, you can't leave without doing this. So now this is like kidnapping or something. But let's also recognize, just kind of pivoting for a moment, the government don't always get it right. In the case of Marcellus Williams, rest in peace, who was just executed this week for a murder that the cops, the family of the victim, the prosecutor all said, this ain't right. He ain't do it. Like, the evidence proved that he didn't do it. But the governor would not sign the stay of execution, and as we speak now, he's no longer living in this world.
Yeah, in Missouri, this happened. I think he was obviously he was convicted. He was a convicted murderer, so obviously some evidence was there to convict him. As he appealed, I guess they found new evidence that looked like, hey, he might not have did this.
Yeah.
But so yeah.
I think I don't want to misspeak, but I think there was like DNA that wasn't his, and I think there was some information that shown he couldn't have been in the area of like, and again, this is the prosecutor, this is the victim's family is saying, no, we don't want this to happen because but at
that point it's not up to them.
It's not up to them. It's up to the governor. Like, people, like, there has been a stay of execution that has been ordered for people,
understand
and that's
but the governor would defer to the evidence. Like, if he don't believe...
But if the evidence is proving that, like, the new evidence proved that he was erroneously found guilty, which we know happens to so many people.
Yeah, I'm not saying he should have been put to death. All I'm saying is that it's up to the powers to be to make that decision, and the governor going to look at the evidence, and if he don't decide that there's enough, then he won't, regardless of what everybody else is saying.
But the sad part is the governor isn't a lawyer, isn't a judge. If the people who are prosecuting or who had prosecuted him, that should be the expert. Like, those are the subject matter experts. If they're saying, you know what, governor, we were responsible for doing this. We're letting you know we messed up. And like, we shouldn't have done this. Then you figure. So this is where, y'all, I don't believe in the death penalty at all. I don't believe that it should be in anybody's power to decide that another person it's so crazy, the fact that I'm not talking about, my husband killing somebody for hurting me, or somebody killing somebody for hurting their child, but the government, like, can decide that another person should no longer live. Like, since when we as humans, like, legally get to decide, like, you can play God and say, nah, you're not going to live anymore.
But I understand your stance on that, but when you say statements like that, they've been doing that since humans were humans.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
I understand you don't agree with it, but you say, like, where do they do that at, or what, like, how come humans, like, they shouldn't have the power? They always had the power. Like,
but
they
some
used to
states have outlawed
people over wood and burned them when they stole, like, back in the day before BC and all that
just
stuff.
Just because
like,
they always did it doesn't mean they still should. And just like some states have done away with it.
We have a difference in opinion on that. So I do believe in the death penalty, and it's crazy how we're married.
Right.
And I receive your stance, and I'm just saying in certain situations, I do believe in the death penalty. So I'm not saying the government should go around killing people. I don't know who should decide that. But in certain situations, there's some monsters on this earth walking around with us. And if they get caught doing some egregious crime to children or women or anything like that, hey, if it happens, it happens. That's just how I feel.
Do you believe?
Go ahead.
So in your belief in the death penalty, do you believe that should be? It always boggles my mind how some things are on a state by state basis, right? Like, we live in the United States, so in one state I could do something and maybe get 50 years, but in next door in a different state in the same country, I could be executed for the same exact thing.
It's what they call part of democracy. It's in the Constitution.
No, I understand that. I'm asking you, do you think that like something that's such a serious penalty should be at the discretion of individual states, or do you think that should have to go to the federal level? If somebody's being executed, like the decision.
I wouldn't be mad at that if it was just the federal level who can decide that. I wouldn't be mad if only the death penalty was like a federal law across all states. But again, I know why it's like that. It's because of democracy, and every state has a governor and they have to decide on that shit and have some power in their state. I understand why it's like that. But I wouldn't be mad at if somebody's getting executed. This has to go to the federal level, the Supreme Court or whatever the fuck that is. Even up to the White House. Like, are we about to kill this guy? Is this okay? And it's like, okay, what did he do? Oh, he killed 18 people. All right, well, okay. Like, that's fine. Like, ain't nobody gonna bat an eye at that. Now, if you're talking about some weird stuff like, oh, somebody got murdered at a robbery and and some evidence don't look right, then that's all ambiguous shit that, like, okay, this guy ain't one of the people who kills 88 people, who kills 18 people, who murders fucking
women and children.
like all these women and children. So if he's not that, then I don't think it should apply. And again, I read about his case. It was just like a homicide, and I'm sorry for the person who died, but I don't. In this situation, I don't know. I don't know. Again, you only can hear one side of the situation, and talk about these trials and the Puffy trial and how that's going to be on TV. There's been 2 murder trials that was just on TV that everybody's been talking about, and one was the Young Dolph, and one was the PNB Rock. Their killers were convicted and sent. Young Dolph, his killer, has not been sentenced yet, but
he was found guilty.
I think the trial is still going on, but it's looking like he's snitching and he's saying in open court, yeah, we did it, we killed him, we did it for $100,000 for Yo Gotti's older brother who was killed.
Didn't his brother end up getting killed?
Yeah, so I think it was behind that and some Memphis shit. But the guy is in the courtroom on stand saying he killed them because they was gonna get $40,000 apiece and give the other 2 guys $10,000 apiece. And he killed Young Dolph on his daughter's birthday. And he was saying that I wanted to have my daughter a good party. So that's why he was doing it, and so he can get a contract and signed and all that, and he would look good over at the record label. Yo Gotti's record label. Like, he would look like he got some traction and he can get signed.
Oh, he was a rapper.
Yeah. You know how much money he got?
No.
Out to $40,000? $800. He said this in open court. Like, yeah, I was promised $40,000. I got $500 one time and $300 the next. And he about to do life in prison.
This sounds like some movie stuff.
He's about to do life in prison and openly admitting that, yeah, this person did the murder. It was 4 of us. Blah, 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 blah. He was coming out the place with his cookies, and we opened fire and shot him and killed him on his own daughter's birthday.
Which, it's so. It just goes to show you the mind of criminals that's so stupid. Let's just say you were going to get $40,000. Did you think like this was going to be like, oh, we finished the job and they were going to cash you out like right then and there? Like, even if you did get your $40,000, did you think that you were going to get that at the time, like on that day?
And how stupid these guys are. Immediately after they done it, they sent text to Big Juke saying, we got him, it's done.
Whew.
So that was in open court also, the text messages.
So his murder was retribution for young Dolph.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's a shame when you have, and I didn't know anything about young Dolph, his career, any of that kind of stuff, or Yo Gotti's brother. Like, he worked at the record label, but it's like you have these men who have the potential to make changes for their family,
making millions of dollars.
Yeah, like, but when you don't leave the street stuff alone, y'all both end up dead. Like, that's just hard.
I seen a clip of T.I. and Boosie. And it's crazy how we're talking about all these rappers on this show, but I seen a clip of T.I. and Boosie interrupting their son's rap video saying, "Why the fuck y'all got guns?" And it's like, wow, these two guys of all people are walking up saying to their sons, "Yo, do y'all gotta have guns? Like, if 12 pull up, who gonna take the rap for the guns? Y'all got real fucking guns out here. Like, this is crazy. We not gonna let y'all do this." Like, there's got to be somebody to say, whoa, like, this shit is corny.
To
like,
pull your collar.
Yeah, and it's like, it's coming from us. Like, you know who the fuck we are. Like, this gun shit ain't cool just to be holding them in videos.
Right. Somebody
could be looking at y'all shoot this video, call the cops and say, hey, they got guns out there. Mm-hmm. Cops pull up. He was like, who gonna take the charge? Everybody standing there. Like, put your hand up if we gonna take the charge. Everybody standing there. Like, see, this is what I'm saying. It's why y'all shouldn't have guns here. So, yeah, you got to be able to speak to the young people and say, hey, this ain't the way to go. And to kill somebody, for any amount of money, it takes a different person to kill somebody. But to do it with the mindset of I'm getting $40,000 as if that's $40 million, like, that's still not enough. But $40,000 can be gone in weeks.
Yeah.
In weeks, especially if you already have it spent in your mind, as, you know, I'm sure he was like, I'm gonna get this 40, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. Like, so that money is gone, and now it's a murder on your jacket. You didn't think about, did somebody see me, or the cops gonna come looking for me? Am I gonna be able to spend the $40,000? Am I gonna need it for a lawyer? No, all you was thinking was, and that's just crazy, the mindset of when you really, really fucked up of, I just want my daughter to have a good party.
Yeah. That's sad. That's so sad, you know, that these young black men lost their lives to the grave or to the jail cell, you know, on some foolishness.
3 grams. Scandinavian Airlines had to make an emergency landing because a mouse jumped out of somebody's dinner in the first class.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
So I asked to you know, those meals that they have sealed up and prepped once they, because, you know, sometimes we haven't seen these or experienced these yet, but these meals come in these boxes that you pull a string.
And it steams up. I've seen that. In Japan, that's big in Japan.
Yeah, you just take the lid off and that shit's like a meal.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure it's like freeze dried. That's why you need the steam to kind of like fatten everything back up.
I guess so, yeah.
But might have cooked a mouse or heated them up a little bit, but he ran out when they opened the food.
You know me.
But you on an airplane. We're not in a car. We're not on a bus or a train where we can just kind of exit at our own fucking will. We're on a plane.
My feet is up in the seat.
You can't have another seat. You can't go back there. You can't let me off.
My feet up in the seat. I'm crying. I'm hysterical. I might need a volume. We're in close quarters and there's a mouse running around. I might need a volume. And I might feel like suing for some mental distress. Like,
definitely would sue.
Like, y'all gotta, like, you know, we are not frequent flyers. When we fly first class. And they bring us our food on a plate. So I'm happy we don't have to like uncover it ourselves, because if that was the protocol, I would freak out from now on.
I know. I don't think I would get food there anymore. So
I would,
then
it would
be like, what the fuck's the sense of flying in first class if we're not going to get the
I know
amenities?
The food be good.
We're not going to get the amenities.
I like the food. And they gave us these really good nuts last time.
I think next time I'm going to try some fish.
Yeah, they gave us these really good nuts.
You had an event that you went to. You went to a concert to see Maxwell. And how was it? How did you like it? And what acts do you think you want to see before they don't act no more?
Yeah, so it was the Serenade tour. October London opened the show. Jasmine Sullivan did. I only got a chance to see like
October, he did the song on the radio.
only got a chance to see the end of him, but
okay.
he played the guitar and it was amazing.
Yeah.
I had went in the
like
hallway
Marvin?
to see. Yeah, I went in the hallway to see Shema. Jasmine Sullivan, she's just sings so. I don't want to say she's underrated because I think she gets her props.
She don't.
But I was gonna say I think she deserved more. Like she just sings so effortlessly. She was amazing. Maxwell was good. I was a little pissed at Maxwell. He didn't sing this woman's work, and he did not sing Pretty Wings.
He didn't sing Pretty Wings?
Exactly.
He didn't sing Pretty Wings?
Exactly.
Y'all should have threw tissue at him or something.
Toya was like, she was trying to get a rally up her and these other people like, Pretty Wings. Like, he kind of did his ending of the thing and like, went back and bought the band and the background singers. They introduced themselves. They stood there. They took a bow. And we looking like, okay, this is all funny good. Like, we waiting, do Pretty Wings, right? Like, and then he's like, oh, thank y'all, I appreciate, it's been 30 years, and then he, like, starting to run off the stage, and we looking like, all right, like, you gonna pop back out with the mic, the lights and stuff. I was like, I heard so many people like, oh my God, I can't believe he didn't do Pretty Wings.
Wow.
I mean, it was good. I was happy to have seen him. I don't know if Jasmine
kind of surprising, but not because he's one of them thespian type motherfuckers.
He did it,
feel like,
yeah.
Like JJ don't want to say dynamite. Like, that's old. I did that already.
He did do some old, he did some hits. He did a couple songs. Heard a girl behind us was like, Maxwell, we don't know these songs. Like, because he was like, thank y'all for supporting the Embryo album. This is when, I just wanted to do, I wanted to do artwork with my music. And it's like, we ain't here to see artwork. We here to hear the hits.
Yeah.
Yes.
We here for the slaps.
But he was good. He started off in the middle of the floor, so we had like a really good view there. He was entertaining. I don't think I would go see him again. Jazz, is on our do not miss list. Like, she come, we got to see her. I want to see Mary J. Blige. I feel like she's an icon. We don't know how much longer. But I feel like
she's dropping a new album, so there might be a tour behind
There is a tour coming. She's not coming to Philly. She's coming to AC in Newark, so we're going to keep eyes on the dates. But I feel like she has so many hits. She can tour for a long time. But I don't know if at some point she's not going to want to. So I want to see her.
Yeah, because her hits, I think her new music now is minus the dance. The Mary dance, the old hits. She gotta do that. We looking for that. She gotta do the Mary dance with the boots and shit. And she probably like, I ain't doing that shit 56 nights in a row.
Yeah,
fuck all that. I got this new slaps, and I'm gonna be standing there looking elegant in dresses and shit. Like, I'm not gonna be with the boots doing all this shit again.
Exactly.
Like, nah.
I want to see Patti LaBelle.
That's a good act.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer she's going to be performing, but I feel like she's an icon. You think about some of the icons we didn't get to see. I was talking to my sister today, and she had a client who was saying that she had previously saw Maxwell and Prince together.
It had to be at least.
Yeah, I mean, it was something. And Maxwell was probably a new artist, but we will never get a chance to see Prince. We'll never get a chance to see Whitney. We'll never get a chance to see Michael. I would love if Sade did a tour. She's on my list.
Yeah, I would love to see Sade too. But again, you gotta sing the slaps. And again, those kind of artists be like, this is my new album I've been working on. It's like, you've been working on for 10 years. This. Nobody don't know this shit. You about to sing 10 songs nobody know. Yeah. We gonna be tuned out. You ain't gonna have no Cherish the Love up in here?
No, but I feel like she would, though. But she's definitely, she would be one on my list that was like, okay, gotta see her. I think for now, those are some of the icons that, are Tasha Cobbs is on my list of gospel artists.
I would like to see Tasha Cobbs.
I'm so mad I missed her this year.
The Kurt Franklin show, my first gospel show. I would like to see Tasha Cobbs because I know a lot of her songs.
Yeah.
I want to see Jay again before he stops performing.
Oh, hell, yeah.
Let me see. Who do I want to see him perform? What would be nice? I would like to see Busta Rhymes. Everybody has always said he gives a great stage performance. I know Busta Rhymes songs. He got some slaps to make you move around and dance. I would like to see that, like what his performance looks like.
Can't really think of many other.
I want to see Fantasia.
Yes.
I want to see
I
Fantasia.
need Fantasia to show up somewhere other than the Dell.
Yeah.
I want her to do a show. But I will say this, and I know it'll never happen again, and this is pre, all this stuff coming out. I still regret. Now, I did go to a Bad Boy show back in 1996, 97-ish. It was at the Leah Chorus Center. But I still regret a couple years ago that we didn't go to the Bad Boy reunion. Like, first of all, it's not going to happen again because of everything that's happening. But Bad Boy, Mace, The Lox, Kim.
When it came out on Instagram afterwards, a lot of people was regretting, I gotta get to that city to see the next that tour.
Yeah. So that's a show that I regret that we missed, but Real quick, last gram, Sarcopod. Couple in Alabama, 80 years old. They both 80 years old. New technology called the Sarcopod, where you get in and they take your own life. You get euthanized. She was diagnosed with vascular dementia. Has a date of when she probably will be terminal. And they decided after 46 years of marriage to lay in the tank together, and your life is taken by asphyxiation of gas. Thoughts. And this is in Alabama. This world is just the devil's playground. That's my thoughts.
And their death will be recorded and given to a pathologist to record and see if this can be new technology. I guess to see to make sure the shit ain't that graphic, people ain't choking or something. Did they just go to sleep?
The devil is just sitting back with his feet up on the desk, laughing and having a ball. Alabama, and again, not to beat a dead horse. Y'all know if this is your first time watching.
And not to cut you off. I'm gonna let you lay your plane. This story was they didn't have anybody. It's only them two, so it's not like he can take care of her. He's 82. Go ahead.
Alabama, and again, as I was saying, I do not believe in abortion, except in the case of incest or rape. I'll leave it there. But y'all will let there was recently a story where a woman almost died. And I'm not saying that she should have had an abortion, but again, she took she was pregnant, she miscarried, but she was bleeding, and they wouldn't move forward with finishing it technically would be an abortion to get the baby out, but they wouldn't do it because abortion is illegal, but you'll let old people kill themselves.
It's
murder is murder. So I'm
gonna push back, but let me just end the show. I think that.
But if your stance is when we won't let you do this because it's murder, I don't want to hear, don't kill a baby. Murder is murder.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, and you'll understand, and we're gonna jump to the next part when I say this last thing. But my thoughts on this is, I don't like it. I think it's what do you call it?
Euthanasia.
Whimsical.
Oh. Okay.
46 years of marriage. Let's take our own life together because she has this terminal disease. Let's die holding hands. That's whimsical. That's we're taking it into our own hands. Okay, cool. I see that part of it. I don't like it. I don't agree with it.
It's suicide.
Yeah, it's suicide. And that's the end of the pod. And we're going to end the pod on where we'll talk about this next. But it's funny how you have a stance on abortion only in cases of incest or rape. So you will allow the state to say, okay, you can kill the baby from incest or rape, but the person who committed the crime of the incest or the rape can't die. The government can't say that. And we'll end on that. It's funny how your stance is one and not the other, but we'll talk about that next pod. A2TP podcast, episode 194, coming to a close. Instagram is, YouTube is, TikTok is, Facebook is, Apple Podcast is, Spotify, iHeartRadio is, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcast, Player FM, type us in, pop us up, like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that good stuff. Yeah, engage with us a little bit. We'll fuck around, talk back, talk some shit to you. We hope y'all like the show. We enjoyed giving y'all the show. We will see y'all next week. You got anything for them?
Set your standards, set them high, because you deserve the best.
If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.